And we're back now with New York Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, and we're very happy to have you. You heard Senator Hagel. He says he wants to give the commanders more responsibility in sexual assault cases, not less.
I would like to give commanders more responsibility and more accountability and more transparency, because Secretary of Defenses, since Dick Cheney was Secretary of Defense nearly 25 years ago, have said zero tolerance for sexual assault. And last year alone, 26,000 rapes and sexual assaults within our military, and only 1 out of 10 reporting. So the reason why I want to take the decision making out of the chain of command is because we need to hold these commanders responsible. They are the only ones responsible to prevent these rapes from happening, creating a command climate where victims can come forward, and then making sure that they're not retaliated against. But for the brave souls that did come forward last year, 1 out of 10, 62% were retaliated against. It's time to stop the status quo, listen to the victims and survivors, and say and listen to them when they say the reason why they're not reporting these crimes is because they don't trust the chain of command will do anything. It's time to change the system.
Explain to me exactly what you would do that is different from what is now being done.
Well, specifically, I would not wait for another study. We don't need more panels. We don't need more studies. We've had boxes and boxes of studies published. What we need is action. And we have to listen to the words of the victims when they say, I do not trust the chain of command will do anything, and I'm not reporting the crime because I fear retaliation. And so our goal is to say the decision of whether or not to go to trial should not be based on the bias or the likes or dislikes of the commander, but actually on the evidence. Let it be an unbiased decision by a trained military prosecutor who just looks at the facts, not whether the perpetrator is more valuable than the victim, not whether they like the victim or not whether they need to shove it under the rug because it looks bad on them, but on the facts. And so if you have that transparency and accountability, you will hold our commanders more responsible, and they can focus on their job of keeping a good command climate where victims feel they can come forward without being retaliated against.
You're hoping to get a vote on your amendment sometime this week?
Yes, we think we'll get our vote this week.
How close are you to having the votes to pass this?
I think we're going to pass this bill. I think we have the votes we need. We already have a majority of the Senate behind it. We have more support than's even declared. And I think we will get the 60 votes necessary to overcome the filibuster and even 60 votes for the measure. I'm very hopeful that we will pass this real reform that is so desperately needed.
Let's talk a little bit about the budget cuts. You heard the secretary, they're going to pare back the military. How do you feel in general about this?
Well, I'm always worried about the troops. I want to make sure they're looked after. So I don't believe we should be balancing the budget on the backs of our troops. I don't think we should be undercutting their health care or their housing. I think we should be supporting them. They sacrifice so much for us. So I have concerns about budget cuts that unfortunately are asking too much of the troops and their families in these tough times.
Are you getting any indication that any of the bases in New York may be closed down as a result of this?
No, we haven't heard that there'll be any base realignment and closing the BRAC right now. So I'm hopeful that all of our military families will be able to continue to serve as they're serving today. But I think what's so important about this and the sexual assault debate is our men and women sacrifice everything for this country, for our values, for what we believe. They will even give their lives. And the reason why the sexual assault in the military offends me to the core is that no one should be asked to endure a rape and then be told when they report that rape that it's your own fault, or I'm not going to do anything, or if you report, your career's over. They deserve a criminal justice system within the military that is as good and honorable as they are, something that is deserving of the sacrifices that they make. And today, our military justice system is failing them.